Mr. Seiji, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Sashi
Pergi Joshi Metojan Rira Lingshi Yende Gembadi Sangye Shindu Mite Uwargi Jokun Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami
Sangye
Chodam Soki Chodam La Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunam Gi Dola Benchir Sangye Tuparsho
Sangye
Chodam Soki Chodam La Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunam Ki Dola Benchir Sangye Tuparsho
Sangye
Chodam Soki Chodam La Chanchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Dagi Chenyen Gibe Sunam Ki Dola Benchir Sangye Tuparsho. All right, then. Before he gets into the meat of the matter, he's gonna talk about. Oh, I didn't get my thing up on the. I'm gonna go back one paragraph. Kang Semba Chawi Chukitsumi. Let's talk a little bit too about the Dharma that you are about to hear, Semba-chan. Okay? Which, see, let's talk about the Dharma, Che, which, Kang, you're about to hear, Semba-chan. Let's talk a little bit about how it's happening. So, Tareki Nekapsu. Lojong Sunja Korla Tarpadini Yina. What we're going to be discussing today is this very text, the Crown of Knives, which is a text for developing the good heart. That's what we're going to be talking about on this occasion. Tare means present, the present occasion. Nekap means occasion. Yinla. Then he's going to say a few things about why he's teaching it, because it hasn't been taught very often in the monastery, and he's afraid for the lineage. Okay, which is why why I'm teaching the Loman. Okay, Diangadu in the past, this was taught. Granted, Nang Lenka stands for, down here you see Lenkashe. This Lenka is an abbreviation for Lenkashe down here in the next paragraph. It means a few times. It was taught a few times by Purbuchok Lama Rinpoche, by the precious Lama Purbuchok. Question? Did you have a question?
No, it's cool. It's just
okay.
We think of him as the logic guy, and that's cool that he's also a Lojong guy. It's really beautiful.
Is he the logic guy? You have to look it up.
Okay.
I believe he is, but I would, anyway. He taught it way back. Then after that, Deje, Yongzin Dorje Chang, the precious tutor, holder of the diamond. We don't know which one. It's probably the one who wrote the Lamrim biographies, Seicholing. It's probably Seicholing. His teacher, which is in your notes in the first paragraph, I put it there for you. Let's leave $3 and go back and look. Right here, see? His teacher was a Yongzin, was a high tutor. Usually it means of the Dalai Lama, but I'm not sure. So it's not strange that he would be referencing his teacher as the great holder of the diamond. This is very common. And the fact that he says Yongzhen, the great tutor, means I think you're safe in saying this is Sechogni. He also granted it, Nang Yuddupa, he granted it. Yuddupa means there was a time or something when he granted it a few times at Kitong. Kitong is like Lyon. It's just a small town, city. I don't know anything more about it. You can look it up on a map. Kidong. He taught it a few times at Kidong. Okay, it's a small town in Tibet. Kidong. And Dene Parkapsu Chenyan Cherma Chungwe. But Chenyan means teaching and listening. Che means to explain, Nyan means to listen. So Chenyan means the study of, you see? The study of it in the meantime, Parkapsu, in the meantime, Machung.
A few times.
Yeah, Che Machung. This is adverb, che li.
Oh, very few times.
No,
Very
che,
little.
chembo.
Greatly little.
No, greatly didn't happen.
Greatly
And there hasn't been any great teaching. There hasn't been any frequent. Don't say great because you'll get in trouble. There hasn't been a major tradition of teaching in the meantime since those days, since my teacher taught it. Okay, a couple times. Nekapsu. Tate nekapsu, and in the present times, it's shintukumba.
Very rare.
Yeah, it has become very rare. Shintu means very rare. Tabor, do means tabor means seems to. It's almost as like it became a rarity. So tabor means almost like. It's almost like it became a rarity to get this teaching on the crown of knives. Okay. Gyun min nyambar chachir, and in order that this lineage should not be lost. Buma.
I'm going to give it.
Yeah, I'm going to grant it. I'm going to give it. He doesn't use the high honorific nung towards himself. You see, he can't say, I'm going to grant it. He's going to say, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with you. It's Kemba Kyumba also.
Modesty.
Yeah, it's an expression of modesty. I will share it. You know, I like in Singapore, they don't say I taught, they say I shared DCI. It's kind of automatically humble. You know, they don't say I'm the great teacher. They say I share it with people. Okay, I'm going to share it with you now. Deyang, kowo means I. It's kowo, and it's nga. It's the same thing. Nga means I. Kowo means I. Kowo ni nga tasa durdu. While I was staying in the monastery previously, Trasa means monastery, Du means stay, Du. So the time I've been in the monastery, okay, Nishu Kap,
20 years.
for the 20 years I've been in the monastery, Kilsan Dorje Chang, Jampa Munlam. Kitsang is a reincarnated line of lamas. They're at ceremony right now, in fact, Kitsang. There's a debate about them now anyway, but Kitsang, there's two Kilsangs.
Does it refer to that specific
Lineage,
or
yeah.
a lineage?
Well, it means if a person is like in the reincarnated ninth Jamyang Shepa, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the name of the place. That's the name of the house that the first one came from, and now that name got stuck on all the other ones. Okay, so Kyutsang Dorje Chang means the keeper of the diamond from the Kyutsang lineage. Okay, his personal name is Jampa Munlam, John Doe. Deni La, from him. Deni La means at his feet, but it means from him. Chure Parsang Namsu. Parsang means gap periods between study periods. So Chura means debate ground, but it has come to mean periods when school is in session. You see, it has come to mean while we're in session during our Geshe studies. Parsang means in the holidays between. Like yesterday, we just had a 2-day parsang. Okay, those 2 days, last 2 days. That's called a parseng. Par means in between. Seng means like relax time. During the parseng, he didn't parseng. He went and Shuba, we had it this morning, Paripercha.
Asked. Oh, that's
Yeah,
requested.
I went and requested this teaching from Kyutsam Dorje Changmun, and his personal name is Jampa Munlam. So now he's telling how he learned it, okay? Because he's establishing his lineage, which is important in the monastery. You know, you have to establish that you hold the lineage. You were taught it by a good lama, okay? It's not something you just read in a book. I got it from him. Kyutsam Dorje Changki ni Lama Jampa Rinpoche Senshin. Where did he get it from? Okay, he heard it from Lama Jampa Rinpoche. Which one? No idea. I mean, it's probably 10,000 of them. Okay, you can look in TBRC and you can help him look for lamas of Kyutsam Dorje Munlam, Jampa Munlam, who might be Jampa. Okay, they also have a lot of nicknames. Gene Smith was fascinated by alternate names. Almost no Tibetan Lama has only one name. They have like 5. And he started making a list when he was very young. And he had a long and fruitful life, and it's all on the website. Nobody else ever cared as much as he did. So anyway, and by the way, we typed in that St. Petersburg 141,000 colophons to help in that work in later generations. Okay, and it's an invaluable resource. So he heard it from Lama Jampa Rinpoche. Sen means honorific. He heard it at the feet of Lama Jampa Rinpoche. And Deyan Chiki Gyu Rim Lagyu to Sawatar. If you're interested in who he heard it from, go look up the Lagyu. Okay, Lagyu means the lineage. Then as Nick knows, because he cataloged them, there are hundreds of books of lineage lamas. And if you were interested right now, okay, you could do something really sexy. You could go up, look up Kyutsam. What's his other name? Jampa Munlam? Am I right?
Jim.
So those are 2 choices for Kyutsam. Okay, and we're going to look him up let's look up near Jampa. Okay? Okay, near Jampa. That is the one who got it after him? No, that's the one he got it from.
Is it Jump Bumble?
No, but when you're searching, just stick to Jam.
The top one I'm worried about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it Jamyam Munlam?
I don't know. Maybe we should check.
No, it's Jampa Munlam.
Okay.
And he heard it from Champa Rinpoche.
Lama Jump Up.
Yeah, okay. Got it? I hope I don't hit all the Jampas near Jampa Munlam. We better fix that.
Yeah.
Let's say Jampa Rinpoche. And I'm just going to do a piece. Okay? Now, I want it. 3 lines is pretty reasonable since they're supposed to be contiguous. It's supposed to be that one studied from the other. And then I'm going to go search in the Sumbrum. Okay, let's see if anyone mentioned their 2 names in the same sentence. Oh, there's his dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Jamyang Munlam. That's
Oh.
Jampa.
Yeah, okay.
That might be
I
this.
wonder if that's him.
I think earlier in the text it said Jamyang.
Why am I getting a hit? Did I have an or? Yes. I want within 3 lines. Okay, here we go. We're doing your research for you. Unfortunately, it is fruitless.
One match.
We can also look in the reference section in case it's in a St. Petersburg colophon. I took the St. Petersburg out of the Sumbum so you wouldn't have 10,000 hits in the same catalog. It's irritating. Okay, but I put it in a different list.
No matches.
My computer has a lot of fan activity nowadays. Maybe you can help me. It's too much. There's something wrong with it.
Maybe we should take it It might be because it's syncing to Dropbox in there.
I turned it off, and it's still doing it. Okay, no matches anywhere.
Windows the same.
But it works it too hard. I can feel it heat up, and the battery drops. And
Do you have a lot
I'll
of
take a look at it.
screens
Then it
open?
slows down.
well, I always do, but it never did that before.
Could be Adobe Flash. Did you have- did you
Anyway.
have a Flash
Dirt.
player?
Let's talk about it later.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, if you're feeling masochistic, go to the uncatalogued data and have a coffee while you're waiting.
Yay!
Mmm.
I'm making notes in there, or we should find it in your merge. You make notes to find that, or footnote.
That's not as sexy. Okay, it's two separate texts, one after the other. So
Aha. Champa Munla, Champa Rinpoche.
that's it. Wow. Yeah, that's the whole lineage. This is the lineage for Dunduma,
Uh-huh.
7-point Lojong. But it's the same as our lineage. So it goes from Bunlo Jampa Rinpoche is the same as I just mentioned. So you'd have to go behind there and look for Jampa Rinpoche, okay?
Okay.
And then it was given to Ketsan Jampa Munlam. From there it was given to Losan Yeshi Tembo Rabge. Who's that? That's our author. And then they followed the lineage down from him to now. You see, so that's kind of interesting. Okay.
Who's the most recent folder?
Well, this one, it's probably this guy, Losan Tandrin. Okay, Losan Tandrin. I think 1900s.
Mark Hyatt Riva.
So he says, go back to Jampa Rinpoche as I mentioned before. Okay. And the only way to handle this is it's kind of nasty, okay? But we're gonna do it just because we're gonna have to do it sooner or later anyway, and it's probably gonna be me. Go make a new text out of it in Word. I know you're in there. There we go. Now, I'm doing the whole text. Okay.
It's easier if you could just open the text file directly from Go.
It'd be nice, and it'd also be nice if you could do a search within a search, but we don't have that. That's really would solve the
If you
problem.
just open that file you're in, right? Then you would have a search within there.
Yeah. Well, what we did is just that.
The copy paste.
So I'm doing the whole work for you because I'd have to do it anyway sooner or later. And Dun Dunma is the 7-point Lojong.
Maybe this is better anyway, because then you can't augment the file.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, sure. Stays in the Cobra window.
Yeah, and bring it to a
Forces you to take
the file is risky. Most people, eventually someone.
See, here's the lineage for another Lojong, which is the 7-point Lojong. Then we go backwards, and here he gives a long lineage, starting with the Buddha.
Oh,
He's claiming that Lojong was passed down from the Buddha, the 7-point Lojong. Okay, ready? Buddha, Maitreya, Asanga and his brother, Vimuktisena, the other Vimuktisena, Gunamitra, Haribhadra, Purvardhana,
yeah,
Purnavardhana, Kusali, the two Kusalis, Atisha, Domtenje, then we hit Tibet. Potawa, Sharawa, Chekawa, Yeshidorje, Chubupa, Chuki Gyantsen, Latin is there, Hlading Bachancha, Hlading Bachancha, Sotsu within. And then Pelkashi, but no, Shana, Yama. Then he goes through. So he says he gave it to me. De Daklao. Who is he? Jetson Lama Mingyu Dorje. Okay. Who gave it to him? Noam Tuken. Who gave it to him? Changchub Chumpel. Who gave it to him? Noam Jampa. So that's the lineage before he gets to our guys. Okay? These are our guys. See, here's Losang Yeshi. That's our guy. The person he got it from is Kitsang, also called Kyutsang. Two spellings of that Lama's lineage name. And he got it from Jampa Rinpoche, student and teacher, two of them. And I'm not going to repeat the lineage before them because I just did it. So it's got to be one of the Jampas in the list before. And there's two Jampas up here, okay? So you'd have to go backwards from that. So I'm going to cut it out for you from the lineage of the... Okay, you start from this guy, and you go down all the way to your Kyutsang. Where is our Kyutsang? There's our Kyutsang. You go down to De Daklo. De Daklo, okay? And you go glue it. Oh, I just cut it out. Let's do this. And I'll go put it in your... Sometimes I put dollar signs. Okay, it's kind of long. So if you're interested in the whole giant lineage, there you go. You know, maybe we write a footnote later. Okay, but now we have it. Okay, and I should have control X'd it. I'll just put here on catalog data.
Oh, you weren't in.
I wasn't in Gopher. Okay. Okay. So anyway, Kyutsan Lama heard it from Jampa Rinpoche. Okay, meaning his teacher heard it from a good guy. You want to know before that? Go look it up in the book. Okay? Lagyu. If you want, go look it up in the book about Lama lineages. If you want who he got it from. There's also an alternate lineage. Which happens, you know, like I heard something from Rinpoche, Art heard something from Rinpoche, Art taught it to his students, I taught it to my students. Now you've got a split lineage. Okay, so he says there's also an alternate lineage. Jampa Rinpoche gave it to Chichen Ngawang Chongden, that's just a personal name. Okay, Chichen Ngawang Chongden. And then he gave it to Gyalchok Kelsang Gyatso. Gyalchok means Dalai Lama. Highest Buddha or something like that, highest Jinnah. And Kelsang Gyatso happens to be number 7. And he was a great Tantrika. 7th Dalai Lama, Kelsang Gyatso.
Who's the poet? No,
That's 6.
That's a 6th, yeah. So there is a lineage which also goes from Jampa Rinpoche to Chichen Ngawang Chongden, and then the Dalai Lama Kelsang Gyatso. Rinpoche Kyang Yut, there's also that lineage. Okay. Now we're done with the painful part, and we start the sexy part, because you have to have something to teach in Guadalajara, because you're going to teach your text in Guadalajara on my day off, which is the 14th and the 15th, something like that. So don't worry, you have a couple weeks left. Now he gets into something really interesting. Okay, here we go. Deyan Lojong Shepa Digare Shiglamim Le Sokle Loksu Gyurpa Kona Yimbar Sem. Some people think, Sem, that Lojongs, as a genre, as a literary type, Lojongs, are Loksu, separate from, totally separate from Lam Rims. Okay? He's already stating a katik. Some people believe that Lojongs and Lamrims are separate genres of literature. Okay, what I did with ACI, I sought to include the 5 great books, starting with lower middle way. We do 12 years on your subject. Then we do 4 years on higher middle way. Then we do 2 years on Abhidharma, and we do 2 years on Vinaya, and we have logic every winter. 5 great subjects. Abhisamankara, Madhyamaka Avatara, Abhidharma Kosha, Vinaya Sutra, and the Pramana Vartika. Yeah, we have those 5 subjects. I added 2 to the ACI courses because it's what you do during Parsenkaps. Yeah, it's what you do when you're bored and you know there's no classes for 3 weeks. You go to some lama and you say, teach me Lamrim. Or that's when visiting lamas come. That's when those high lamas come to the monastery. They don't teach there all the time. They only come during Parsenks. And they come and teach a Lamrim, or they come and teach. So I added Lamrim to your, and I added Lojong and I added Tangye interpretation. Because those are typical Parseng. So if you ask me if Lamrims and Lojongs are the same, I'd say not really. You know, there's a great Lamrim, there's a liberation in Palm Hands, and then over here is the 7-point Lojong and the 8-verse Lojong. And okay, but he says, he talks about it as if it's a bad idea. Some people think that Kona, that Lojongs are only totally separate from Lamrims, okay? Gare Shik means some people think that. Gare Shik means some people. Okay? About this word, Lojong, okay, some people think it's totally separate from, it has to be separate from Lamrims. But, Lojong Yina, Lamrim, Lojong Nisu Chewe, Lojong Yin Go. When you divide, this is like things and persons and things. So here you got Lojongs, and you got it divided into Lamrims and Lojongs. Okay. So texts which help you develop a good heart are not necessarily the texts for helping develop a good heart, which are part of, you know, a separate subject of study from Lamrim. Because if you think about it, a Lamrim is a text to develop a good heart. Is he saying that? He's saying that, okay? Lamrim, Lojong Yina, if something is a Lojong, it's not necessarily Lojong in the sense of the classical division Yiso Chewe. We got it again. In the classical division of things into Lojongs and Lamrim. Okay? You can have a Lojong, which is not a Lojong. Yeah. You can have a book that develops a good heart without it being the genre of literature called developing good heart literature. Got it? Yeah. In that classical division, Nisu Chewa.
The little one, Lamrim and Lojongs, isn't it?
Yeah, here's all Lojongs, things that develop your heart, and they divide into Lamrims and Lojongs. So this is Lojong as a class of literature, and this is Lojong as something to help your heart. But Lamrim's also under there. So it's a confusion.
Different meanings of the word.
Yeah, different levels of division, hierarchy. Generally speaking, now this is radical, okay? This is a radical statement. This is why I like this guy. He's sexy. I don't know why you got it. No, it means you must have been sexy or be sexy. But anyway, now, Lamrim has 2 meanings. It's a type of literature, books on the steps of the path, Lamrim literature. But it also means a series of ideas, cool ideas. Yeah, and in that case, it's a standard set of, 30 ideas that you have to develop, 30 attitudes that you have to develop. So you have to have that distinction in your mind before you read the sentence. Okay? Lamrim can mean the topic of how you act around your teacher, or it can mean a type of literature. Okay? It can refer to how you act around your teacher, as well as to the literature on how to act around your teacher. Got it? Okay, so generally speaking, Chirna, whenever a debater starts with Chirna, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
If you shake grass.
He's like protecting himself. If you start every single debate in the monastery, you say generally, that means if the guy brings a counterexample, you can say, well, that's why I said generally. Generally speaking, from Shinyan Tenso, from the topic on how to behave around your teacher, okay, literally how to rely upon a spiritual guide, okay, how to rely upon a spiritual guide, on up. That's a way to say,
Everything in the long room.
I'll kiss you, but you had a beard. Okay, everything from how to behave around your teacher on up. All those lamkirimbas, lamkirimba tamje, they're Lojong. They're Lojong.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, got it? I like it. I think it's cool. He jumped in right away. He didn't start with blah, blah, blah. He said, by the way, those schmucks out there who think that Lamrim and Lojong are separate, all the Lamrims are Lojong. Because every Lamkirimba is a Lojong. It's meant to develop your heart. Every step of the Lamrim, which means steps, is meant to develop your heart. Lojong yinte. Now, he's kind of about to give his definition of Lojong, because he's using it to prove that statement. Everything you study in the Lamrim is a Lojong, because here's what Lojong is. Here's his kind of unofficial definition of Lojong. I wouldn't say it's restrictive. I wouldn't say he's sticking to that. But he's going to give you a general definition of Lojong. I have my own, which I developed over many years of studying it. References to it. I think it's a Changchu tu sem kepe Lojong.
Developing the mind of bodhicitta.
It's all it is. The lo in Lojong means bodhicitta. It's how to develop bodhicitta. That's all. That's the real meaning of Lojong. You know, Buddha mind, generating. Anyway, here's his short definition, which is not restrictive. It's not definitive. Rang gyuki lo dini jongchepe tapin becher. Because all those lamrims are lojongs because they are ways of accomplishing, practicing, practicing this state of mind within you.
In your own mind stream.
Yeah, I'd say within you, because you can't say mind within mind or something like that. Okay, mind within you, within a person. They are all methods of mastering. I would say mastering. They're all methods of mastering this particular state of mind in your heart. Okay, that's Lojong. Then when you translate that into English, you have to put lo in parentheses and jong in parentheses. Jong is going to come after master, and your mind is going to come after lo. All those things are lo, jong, because you seek to jong your mind in this. You seek to jong this state of mind. He didn't say which state of mind. He said dini. This particular state of mind, meaning bodhicitta. Okay, that special state of mind. Okay, dini. Yimbe. Therefore, all the rimbas in the lamrim are lojongs, because you're trying to master a certain state of mind in each of them. So I would make it more general. All the lamrims are lojong because in each of the lamrims you're trying to master a certain state of mind, and that's lojong. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Denis cher lojong ni tome lojong de lang kibu. When you talk about Lojong in the context of the classical division, okay, Nisu Chewa. Okay, when you're talking about Lojong in the classical division of Lamrim and Lojong, okay, that's the mother Lojong. That's the first Lojong. Tokma means first. Okay, that's the and I'm going to keep going in the sentence, you'll see what he's talking about. Delang Kebo, you can divide that into 3 Lojongs. There's the attitude of a lower person, the attitude of a middle person, and the higher, medium, and middle. These are the 3 classic motivations during Lamrim, right? So technically, you can say there's 3 kinds of low, 3 kinds of states of mind, higher, medium, or lower. What are they? So you'd have to have a footnote here. What's higher motivation? What's the lowest? What's the lowest?
Just wanted to get out the lower realms.
Mhm. Medium? Get out of Boston Sarah. Highest? So he's saying here there's 3 Lojongs also. Because you're jonging, you're trying to master 3 states of mind. You're trying to master these 3 states of mind. So, there's 3 kinds of Lojong. Okay? In general, so that's general, but more specifically,
Each one.
when you're talking about
They include
Lojong as opposed to Lamrim, can that be Chunganding?
can be what?
No, because it's bodhicitta.
Right. Lojong, as this Lojong over here, means attempting to develop bodhicitta. Then you can't say that would be divided into lower, medium, and higher. You see what I mean? Lamrim can be, Lojong cannot be. Because the low in Lojong is bodhicitta. It's always Mahayana. Okay, got it? He's going there, but he didn't state it very clearly.
Do some people
You know,
interpret
to me.
Low and Lojong as not Mahayana? Like,
Sorry?
is
Oh, let's see. Let's see if he goes there.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying.
okay.
Okay. Now, I'm taking here Tokme Lojong. I would say it. Maybe it means the Lojong that you're starting with. All developing states of mind, the spiritual states of mind. Then that divides into Lamrim and Lojong. Okay? And that big mother Lojong, first one, Togma, I'll take it now, first hierarchical level, highest hierarchical level. Yeah, you can divide that into 3. There's 3, generally there's 3 states of mind you're trying to develop. Spiritually, okay? That's a main gut. So you can say there's the Lojong of people of lower motivation, there's the Lojong of people of medium low motivation, and there's the Lojong of people of higher motivation. I agree. Big Lojong. Tokma Lojong. The one you start with. Okay, Lojong Yinshin. Daishin to Dingi Lojong. Yang Ye. They also exist. They also exist. I agree. I admit that. Lojong in general, developing attitudes. But, soft disjunctive. But, Tare Kidini, but the one we're going to talk about now, Tare means today, now. The one we're on now is Gyebu Chimba Lojong.
The one for the big guys.
Yeah. We're talking developing an attitude which belongs to greater people, greater motivation. We're sticking to that. We're the Tsunja Korlo, the Crown and Knives, Mahayana. Okay. Yinte, De Tsenlang, now he's going to jump into the book. He's ready to, if he's been blah, 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 now he's going to dive in and he won't come out for 5-6 years, so get ready. De Tsenlang. Now, let's talk about the name of this Mahayana Lojong we're about to talk about. And then Tsawa. So Tsawa is how he introduces a direct quotation from the root text. And I have bolded it for you. So you're going to learn to bold the root text. Now, luckily, Geshe Michael went and got you the root text. And here it is. Okay? So you got the whole root text here. The very first line, which is such a hopeful time in a translator's life. 13 years later, they are battered and exhausted by this book. But when it comes out, you'll be so happy. But between here and there, there's a lot of pain. And a lot of persistence, 2 or 3 of you won't survive. Who it is, we don't know. I have a friend. What's the basketball player that used to come to our, no, the football player, Ernie Spears. We had a Dharma student who was a famous football player, Ernie Spears. He came to my classes in New York, and he described the first day of professional football. And they took them in the room, and there were 50 of them. They said, 10 of you guys are going to survive. 10 of you guys will be here a year from now. And they just stuck this bug in their head, you know, this really paranoia in their head. They said, 10 of you guys will be here a year from now. And that's the dropout rate in professional, after you reach professional. You know, 40 of you guys will be gone next year. So I hate to do it, but, you know, translation's not easy. Finishing a book is not easy. Some of you may not survive. I'll make it softer. But the dropout rate is high. It's like 80% of a book. To reach the end of this book, it's going to take a lot of hard-ass work and persistence, okay? And just donkey persistence. It's not very glorious. The book, when it comes out, it makes you look like a genius. But the work from here to there is grunt work. It's taking out the garbage every day. Okay, here we go. I'm not calling this book garbage, okay? So anyway, here's the very first hopeful first line. You know, crown of knives. Shukso means that's the name of the book. Okay, now let's go back to your text. Dhamma rakshite atishala nawe Lojong sunja korlo shejawa shukso. He gave it a longer name. Okay, there's the. He gave it a longer name than what I have. By the way, the version I have was the one that was put into a huge book of Lojongs by my teacher's teacher, the Chidra Rinpoche. Okay, you okay? What's up?
She's in front of food.
That's not a bad thing. Okay. Here's the full technical name of the book according to your author, Chichen Temburubge. He says the name of this book is Lojong Sunja Korlo, the book on how to develop the good heart, called The Crown of Knives. Wow, it reached me without getting attacked. The book called The Crown of Knives, which was granted to Nawa, Lord Atisha, by Dharma Rakshita. So that's his full name for the book. We're gonna, this herein contained, Shejawa Shukso, herein contained is the Crown of Knives, which is a text on how to develop, which is a teaching on how to develop the good heart, which was granted to Lord Atisha by Dharma Rakshita, his teacher. And again, I looked up Rakshita's bio, and I can't find a discrete bio. I found some paragraphs about who he was. He was a master of Abhidharma, actually. And that's what he's most famous for. So anyway, which is sort of a strange marriage. Right. Lojong and Abhidharma is the driest thing, and Lojong is the most sexy thing. So, okay.
Is it different Dharma Rakshita than the Dharma Rakshita? Who was it? Wasn't there another one?
Shanta Rakshita we had?
Yeah, but I thought there was another Dharma Rakshita around at that time.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, this one must have lived during Atisha's time. Okay, which is how many years before Temburubge? 700 years before Temburubge. Okay, 700-800. She. Now he's gonna teach you the name of your book. Why we call it the Crown of Knives. Dak Chen Zenki Jawo Shomba La. Chunja Korlo Dang Jawa Shindinubana Demi Na Detashe. Detashe means we speak of it as the Crown of Knives because Nupadang Dema.
Because it has the ability.
Yeah, it possesses the power. Here you gotta say power.
It very much possesses the power?
Yeah, Shindinupa means it's extremely effective, extremely powerful. It is similar to Dang Jawa, similar to. The two in English is and in Tibetan. It is similar to a crown of knives which can destroy, smash, another form of the verb, chom, which can smash the enemy of Chen Zin. So this is a topic for the rest of your life. This is a topic for just especially for the next 5-6 years. Dak Chenzin, Rang Chenzin. Taking care of number one. Watching out for number one. In plain English, in normal English, which I don't suggest for your book. It's watching out for number one. There's a song, right? I'm watching out for number one. Yeah, watching out for number one. And people say you're a fool if you don't, right? Take care of yourself. Watch out for number one. So Rang Chen, they translate it as cherish. And you will not hear me say it often, but it's a great translation. Anyone who translates this as self-cherishing, that's a good translation. I like it. Chenzin is cherish, to cherish. Okay, Shen Chenzin,
I cherish others.
yeah, to cherish others. Rang Chenzin,
Self-cherish.
cherish yourself. So he didn't, here he calls it Dak Chenzin, but normally it's called Rang Chenzin, but it means the same thing. Cherishing yourself, watching out for yourself, taking care of yourself first. Your whole book is about that. And why it's called the Crown of Knives is that it can destroy that attitude. It can smash that attitude, cut up that attitude. Got it? Where?
In yourself.
Yeah, so, in the Karma Vibhanga, it's around your head. It's a thing that comes down on your head and chips away at your head. Which is kind of appropriate if you think of attitudes being in your head. Okay, okay, here we go. Delayang Togmar, so what do we, soft change of subject, okay? And so the first line, at the very beginning, every time just before he says the root text, he's going to say tsawa. So if Seiji were bored in Mexico or something, if you're bored and you have extra time, you can block out the root text for me. Here's the root text, okay, right here. So we finished the title. So you should look for some of the next lines after the words sour. Where is it? Sour. After he says sour, which means root text, then the next part is going to be from the root text. And if you could bold them out, it would help me. It would save me time. Okay, so this other document here is the root text. That happens to be the next line. And you just block it out for me. Okay, and see what I mean? The way I've done it here. Now he gets into this sexy thing. This is the book called, this is the teaching called The Crown of Knives, which strikes at the crucial point of the da, of our enemy.
Cool.
Okay? And he's going to go into this tantric thing about chakras, and there's a tantric teaching on striking the chakra, striking the killing point, marmahata, right? So he's jumping right in there. It's very sexy. Be a great subject in Guadalajara, so we got to get through it. Okay, strike the enemy at the one. You see, don't cut his arm. Go for this 1 inch here, and it's over. One poke there is worth 20 pokes at his arm. That's the idea. You can mess around with trying to be a nice person for armor, but strike your tendency to take care of yourself. You're free. You see, strike where the problem is, and don't cut the guy's arm. One poke at this square inch, it's all over. Okay. So G-N-A-D means killing point, crucial point. The Sanskrit is marmahaka, mortal strike point, literally. Okay, we can have a nice little footnote there when we get there. She sungte, that's what the text says next. Jik tena suk chenki dana sumeki gek she shepani. In the world, whenever they introduce a sentence with jik tena, they're going to say, look, in the normal world, it means in the normal world, in the everyday world. I think that's a good literary way to say it. Okay, it means in the world, loka dhatu. But in the normal world, in the everyday world, what? There's a sukchengida, there are physical enemies, and sugmeki gek. There are invisible obstacles that don't have a physical form. So sometimes they will quote a tampe, G-T-A-M-D-P-E, tampe.
A saying?
Example.
Yeah. Stitch in time says 9.
It is said
Especially
that.
with the needle flying.
Yeah, so
That's why the
little sayings,
Mhm.
which in Tibetan are called tampe, are a very rich source of ancient Tibetan language because they don't change. Stitch in time saves 9. That saying you can find 300 years ago. They don't change. They're passed on from parent to child. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I mean, that's back when apples weren't common. You couldn't buy an apple easily. And you see, I mean, stuff like that. They are repositories of ancient language. Anyway, I take it that the word from suk up to geg must have been a thing that parents said to kids, or shukchengi dadan, sugmeki geg. There's enemies on the outside, there's obstacles on the inside.
And that's why he
You got to make it sound like a,
Shishiba.
yeah, that's why it says sheshepa, as they say in that world they're saying, okay? As they say in the world, enemies on the outside,
Say in the world, yeah, cool.
obstacles on the inside. You got to make it like poetry. Stitch in time says 9. Okay, Niki Nangne, of those two, Sugmeki Geg Te, subject of the sentence. Subject of the sentence. Give me an instrumental, that's the subject of the sentence. By Seiji, the store was gone to. Tibetan syntax. It's the inner ones, Semgyula Shugne, which they enter your mind, the stream of your mind. Having entered the stream of your mind, Shuk is past tense of what?
Juk.
Njuk.
Juk.
Yeah, Juk also means roach in Yiddish, so that was my nickname in the diamond business. Okay, anyway, once they have entered your mind stream, nut.
They harm it.
Yeah, good. Nyupachepale. But, rather than, they do hurt you, but, ngusumayin.
Not directly.
Yeah, not directly. They're not like the guy who takes a knife and cuts your shoulder. But they hurt you. But they don't hurt you directly. They don't do it directly. They attack you, but not directly. Okay? Sukchen jade ngusalusem na nupachepe. Physical enemies that you have in your life will harm you directly, either your lu or your sim.
Remind your body.
So he's including emotional attacks. Outer enemies. They will attack you directly, mentally or emotionally. Okay? Chepe na. And because they do that, you take those dinyi, you take that kind, like with your finger. You take that kind, dinyi, as being, you hold it to be your dhamma. Dhamma means clear, water, faith, but as an adjective, it means
Definite.
number one. Especially with enemy. It's an idiom.
Trade down.
Oh.
Yeah, that's your prime enemy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the guy who comes and cuts you or abuses you verbally, we tend to take those outer enemies as our number one enemies,
Like
the
is-
real enemy. Okay.
Like it is clearly so.
It means it's essence, the crystal essence at the middle.
Uh,
It means something like that, like soul. You see,
uh-huh.
but it's an expression, and it's only used with enemy. Jadhamma means your real enemy. In English, we say it with a change of tone. That's your real enemy. Okay, we hold it. Okay, but actually, he says in the same way. Okay, in a parallel sense, dear, here in this teaching, young, or in this life, sorry. Let's see. Rang chak nam,
Those guys.
all of us, topma mepane, for time with no beginning. For time with no beginning. Topma mepane, since no beginning. Duk tujuken, the one who has thrown us into pain. Daitso, our number one enemy. Duksha means, duksha is a very colloquial. SHOS is the superlative, superlative
The suffering.
EST in English. Dukshu means the baddest. The baddest of the bad. Dukshu. So duk means dungyo, suffering. Dukshu, dukpo in colloquial Tibetan means bad, but dukpa in literary Tibetan means beautiful. So go figure. Dana duk, beautiful to lay your eyes on it, is the name of a heaven, the city in the heaven of the 33. Okay, so sorry about that. But here, the duksha, the worst one.
3 minutes.
Duksha rang, the very worst one. Okay, rang here means, how do you say? Duksha rang. This rang means really. It doesn't mean self. Okay, in colloquial Tibetan, his text is going to be the most colloquial because
It's more recent.
Because the teaching.
it's a public teaching. Okay, Duksha rang, kokupa rang. They'll emphasize it. He's a real idiot. Okay, the real worst one, dak changing.
Oh, the
Solitude.
inner self.
That's going to be your mantra for the next 5 years. Is taking care of me first, cherishing me. That's the real enemy, who threw you into suffering, who's your main enemy, who's really your worst one. Okay, is your habit to take care of yourself first.
2 minutes, Geshe-la.
Changing yimi. Therefore, de la dar tepegone, you must look upon him as an enemy. Okay, you must view him as an enemy. And de nila nelambak. That's the one you got to strike the killing blow. Okay, good. You have to. He's the one you need to strike a killing blow. Okay, that's the one you have to strike a mortal blow. And I like it because it's on the inside of us, right? It's deep, deep down. Take care of me first. He says, go get that one. Okay, poke that one. Jikten na yang. Dawo shikla da ti dung so numbana. This is a famous. Anyway, well, let's go. Jikten na in the normal world, as we said, when you start something with Jikten na, in the everyday world, Dawo shikla, if you have an enemy, shik, it's not the past tense of destroy. If you have an enemy, and you hit him with a da means a spear or an arrow. Chi means well, here it's going to be arrow. Chi means a sword, and dung means a spear. If you nen means to strike. Okay, if you strike them with a weapon, because it says etc.
Such
here.
as-
Add a word like weapons such as an arrow,
Spear or
a
sword.
spear, a sword. What's the Tibetan word for gun?
Menda.
Which means what?
Fire. Fire.
Arrow. Yeah, fire arrow. So da here means arrow. Me means fire. Menda means fire arrow. Means gun. But he's not talking about that because it wasn't invented yet. So nimbana, if you strike them with one of those weapons, nedu ma poke. Suppose you don't poke their ne. Here's one Tibetan word that sounds like the English one. Poke. Poke means stick somebody. Okay? If you don't strike their crucial point, killing point, I might call it killing point, I don't know. If you don't hit their killing point, detsam ne mi ne. You can't hurt them that much. Detsam means that much. You can't hurt them that much. It means maybe a little bit, but not that much. Nepe, nepadu, therefore, definitely, you gotta, gupa, poke the neck. Yeah, you gotta hit the crucial point. You gotta hit the killing point. Tar, yinla,
We're over time, Geshe-la.
Let me go one more
There's no break
sentence.
time
Come on.
before the
When do you
next
guys start your next thing?
What?
When do you guys start your next thing?
It starts right away. Oh,
I'm next.
he's next. And
Oh,
then
let me go one more sentence. It's so sexy.
Season, yeah.
That thing's like calling to me, but I'm being strong. Okay. Okay, Shenyang, moreover, okay. This is misspelled. I don't care what the text says. It should be gi.
No, stop.
Bashik means, sorry,
Only.
gashik means no. Gashik means some. Some sakyas of the past. It's not by the past. Okay.
Right.
Some sakyas of the past have taught, okay, from their teaching, and they've talked about, She Sumba means, here starts a quotation mark. After lei, up to sum is a quotation mark. Up to lei, after lei, up to She Sum is a quotation mark. That's a quotation mark. They talk about, quote, Shinken Shingi ne la kepa, translate. Someone who's a kepa,
Scholar.
or a master, about Shin,
Flowers.
wood.
Wood.
Yeah, master carpenter. Sorry, master woodsman.
Oh,
It's a tree. It's actually a tree master,
Oh,
arborist.
like Jerome's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
the
Like those.
master woodsman,
Yeah, those.
who is a master at locating the ne
Oh,
in a
sure.
in a tree.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lumberjack.
they know the striking point. They know the killing point. You can spend all day with these little loppers and cut the branches off. He knows the ne. He goes tuck and the tree falls down. Okay, because he knows the ne. And the shemba means a butcher, person who kills animals for a living. It's a very ugly word in Tibetan. You say shemba. Shemba soki ne la kepa, who is a master at finding the ne of the animal's life force. You know, they poke the animal here, it's dead. They don't cut the arms and legs, and they just go put, and the thing is dead. And tunkor kinela kepa. Literally, yeah. Machination. Machination? Before the time of metal, there were these like pulleys and ropes, and you pulled this and the thing will go around over here. You know, like a bull, he walks around the thing and it turns another wheel and it grinds a grain. That's called a tunkor. It's the old meaning of machine, before machines. Okay, machination or something. Contraption's not bad. I don't know.
A contraptionist.
So
Master.
it's a machinist who's a master at the crucial points in machines.
Master contraptionist.
Like if your car is running and you can't stop it, and you're a master mechanic, you pull this little cord out. Somebody else is like trying to stand in front of the car and stop it, and they're getting run over, and the master mechanic jumps in the car and pulls away, and much less effort.
And just where to throw the monkey wrench.
Yeah. So this is a famous ancient tantric Vajrayogini Sakya teaching. Our tradition of Vajrayogini comes from the Sakyas. We learned it from the Sakyas. The Galupas, the Jotsongkapians, learned it from the Sakyas. And this is a very famous section in the Sakya teaching, in the Vajrayogini teaching. So it's so awesome. You know, you're going to impress Alejandro for sure. He jumps right into it. And I went and got it for you. Okay? Okay? Here it is here. We're going to translate it. We're going to add it to your footnote. Because that's all he says. He doesn't explain it. He doesn't explain it. So we're going to go straight into this tantric text, which is by Tsarchen. Yeah, he wrote the most famous prayer of Vajrayogini of all. It's a Lamrim Vajrayogini prayer,
Wow.
mixed. And we have to say it every time we do Seichu, right after the creme brulee. But, you know, he wrote a description of these crucial places. And we're gonna try. I'm gonna throw it in there. Okay, we're gonna throw it in there. Okay, it's very deep. It starts out the 2 levels of tantra. I mean, that's the first word. Yeah. So that's where we pick up next time. And I think we'll have time to finish that. He has 1 or 2 more sessions, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be able to finish that, and then you can teach it in the Golhara. Okay, you can say, I'm teaching this text, and the point of this Lojong is to strike a death blow at your tendency to take it. Don't worry about your anger. Don't worry about your jealousy. Don't worry about your desire. Don't worry about your pride. Don't worry about your ignorance. Strike a death blow to your habit of taking care of yourself first. The rest will come. The rest will die. Strike the death blow. There. Then you don't have to waste a lot of time. I mean, you don't have to go crazy with all this other stuff. Memorizing Tibetan grammar, blah, blah, blah. You know, strike a death blow to your habit of taking care of yourself. The rest will fall down. You know, the jealousy, the desire, even the ignorance will dissolve. Strike your death blow there. Efficiently and easily. Strike it there. And then sit back and the whole edifice will collapse. Okay, the whole building will collapse. Pull this brick out. You know? Cool?
Very cool.
That's his subject. Yay. Pugi Jushin Meto Tam Rira Lingshin Yinde Gempadi Sangye Shindu Mite Uwargi Roku Namda Shingla Chuparsho Ilam Guru Rana Mandala Kamniryatayami Di Kewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Tsotso Shing Sanam Yeshe Le Chung Wei Dampar Kunyi Topar Sho. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, he gets sexy right away. I mean, that's one of the deepest teachings of Tantra. So, kind of cool.